Donald Trump is aging before our very eyes, and his verbal slip-ups are not only revealing of his cognitive decline, but his missteps of the mouth are also becoming self-incriminating. And in this breaking story, you won't believe what he just said about Epstein Island that accidentally shines a light on his dark soul. Stay tuned for something I like to call
words, the best words.
Remember when the sensitive Donald took exception when the media highlighted his rambling stories that lacked three things: a coherent beginning, middle, and end. He called it the weave and said it was a product of his superior intelligence. What you're about to see is an escalation of that. Have a look as I break down what Weavy McWeaveface said this time, and it culminates in him steering a Titanic word salad right into Epstein Island.
Doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name is in the
I
files?
haven't been overly interested in it, you know.
We are only 6 seconds in, and that's line number one. He's not only deeply interested, he is concerned by it, as he'll show with every word that follows.
It's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this: those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey, they were run by Garland, they were run by Biden.
And that's line number two, and as long as we're keeping score, what he says next is weird sidebar and deflection number one, and the beginning of the weave.
Including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony.
So they ran the files, and obviously nothing was there, or they would have used it. But under your presidency, and while your handpicked FBI director is in place, they can easily put something in there. What is that madman from Mar-a-Lago even talking about? Let's pick it back up after he spun into deflections 2, 3, and 4, rambling about the Russian dossier, beating Joe Biden by 25 points, and claiming no one knew Kamala's last name.
And then she had a 6-week honeymoon. It was amazing. They predicted she would have a 6-week honeymoon, and she did. And then she got slaughtered.
Do you feel that?
But think of it. Those files were run by these people. They were run by my enemy.
And here comes line number 3. When asked again about the birthday drawing to Epstein, he denies and then follows up with lies 4 and 5 about his drawing history.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
Do you think it was fraudulent?
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, "Would you draw a building?" And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, you know, for a charity. So, but I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women. That I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women. And also, you know, Epstein was always a very controversial guy. I was at a very high position, you know, pretty much all my life. In all fairness, I've been doing this for a long time. I had the top show on television. I had the #1 bestsellers. I had everything, right? And I was a very successful business guy. He was a very controversial. Who would do a controversial drawing? Now, with that being said, they say there were many letters done by many people, and many big people, you know, big successful people.
That made no sense. He just described himself as a very big person, then asked the question, who would do a controversial drawing? And then he answered the question with, well, big people did. Okay, I can't take it anymore. I had this elaborate plan to itemize every lie and deflection in his 5-minute weave, but I just can't do it. Let's jump ahead to where the self-absorbed Donald let something slip that was sensationally self-incriminating.
I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island. I had the privilege.
Privilege. Oh, Donald, that's an interesting word you just blurted out. Please do tell. Are you saying that all the other times you were with your best friend Jeffrey while in Manhattan, in Florida, and on his plane, enjoying your shared affinity of company you once described as on the younger side, was privilege? That word, privilege, just hung in the air like a confession he didn't mean to make. Trump just unintentionally admitted what we already knew. His fondness for the time he spent with Epstein is accurately represented in the drawing and the words he denies writing. His past is catching up to him, and as he runs away, he can't help but trip over his own words. Donald Trump can scream fake news and hoax until he's blue in his orange face, but the more he talks, the more he confirms what he's trying to deny. Freudian slips, verbal tics, and body language have a tendency to do that to people, even those who are in the prime of their lives. But because this man is obviously slipping, I think we can expect more slips of the tongue. I'm Dan. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comments below, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.
I hate Occupy Democrats.